Recording in progress.
I'd like to call the meeting to order and start with attendance.
Chair Eagleson Chislewich,
Present.
Vice Chair Roman,
Present.
Board Member Ulinskas,
Present.
Board Member Willis,
Present.
Board Member Pease.
Present.
We have quorum, noting also that we have Councilmember George Liu with us.
Hi, welcome, thank you. Okay, are there any agenda changes?
No changes planned
Okay.
for today.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda?
Through the chair, I have received no public comment cards and there is no hands raised in Zoom.
Okay, thanks. All right, so on to schedule and staff report.
All right. Good morning. Bear with me while I share my screen. Well, here we are in September. We only have a few meetings left of the year, as detailed on the screen here. We do have a planned absence coming up for the October meeting. If there are any other planned absences, please direct that to either my attention or staff's. And I don't have any other announcements, but I did want to make note that we do have on our work plan the goal for the 2025 Historic Resources Board Awards to be held in 2026. So probably at one of these remaining meetings of the year, I'll schedule an item to have kind of a little wrapping it up, if you will, the awards and what is needed to plan that. So, and with that, I can entertain any further questions.
Any questions? Okay, I think we could just continue on then. Thanks.
All right.
So our first item is the public hearing on 201 Hamilton Avenue. Shall we get started with the staff report on that?
All
And
right.
we have the applicant here too?
We do.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's take a trip to 201 Hamilton, just down the block. So we are, as indicated on the screen, located at the intersection of Hamilton Avenue and Emerson Street at 201. And it is in the zoning district, downtown commercial with the ground floor and pedestrian sub-districts. It's in the downtown neighborhood. Briefly gives some context of the site development. The building was constructed in 1909 by T.B. Downing and Sons. There is no architect indicated on record, but the builder was E.A. Hintinger. And for the first 20 years of the building, the first floor was occupied by the post office that later moved to down the block to the medical dental building that was 1928. And there have been some changes to the structure since its initial construction, as indicated, probably if any of the board members conducted a site visit, predominantly on the first floor, following in the 70s after a transfer of ownership to a fraternal hall, as well as some renovations of awnings in the 1980s, and a storefront revision on the Hamilton Avenue facade. So, as detailed in the packet, the project proposes to remove majority of the awnings on the structure. So 6 of those would occur on the Emerson Street facade and 3 on the Hamilton Avenue. And there is retaining, should I say, 2 of the double bay canopies on the Hamilton Avenue. So that would keep the existing structure, but replace that green fabric that's currently there today with a new fabric. There is proposed new signage at the corner of the building, and there is a proposal to paint the building entries and alcoves to a yellow color, and new pendant lights in those said alcoves, and a replacement of a door on Emerson Street, to accommodate the proposed use of the gallery and the entrance of some of the artwork into the space. And I'll briefly walk through some of the plans and what's existing conditions as well as what's proposed. So here we are at the corner elevation. As we can see, those green awnings. Here is the proposal, removing those awnings and retaining the two at the very far end, and the painting of the alcove with yellow. And please note the signage, the small signage on the facade above the front entry door in the corner. And it is proposed to be backlit. So here is a night elevation, what that would potentially look like. And there is a material sample by Councilmember Liu that I encourage the board to look at. So if we move along to Emerson Street, here are some of the existing conditions. I've highlighted in yellow here on the screen the proposal for the removal of those awnings and noting the door change on the far left-hand side, as well as the addition of the pendant light and painting of the alcoves. And for reference, that door on Emerson Street is a double door with a transom above, and the proposal is to have a full height door in the existing opening. Moving along to Hamilton Avenue, we have the existing conditions here with the awnings and the proposal of having the new striped awnings, as well as the painted alcove and the removal of those single bay awnings on the 3 bays of the structure. I do have some renderings here that were in the plan set. So here is a potential of what we could expect of the painted yellow and the yellow awnings, as well as another. And I do want to note that it was detailed in the staff report that the architectural plans noted a different color for the painting of the alcoves versus the color that was chosen for the fabric. Staff is recommending that for consistency's sake, utilizing the fabric color rather than the color swatch that you see on the material board. And as detailed in the plans, there is a option to pursue either a 16-inch wide strip, if you will, or a 9-inch wide strip. So seeking the board's direction on which preferred width of the stripe would be appropriate for the building. With that, keeping in mind the color recommendation as well as the recommendation on the width, staff is recommending that the board recommend to the Director of Planning and Development Services that the project conforms with the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation. The board may also continue the project to date certain with either specific direction to the applicant and staff, and the board may also recommend that the application is not consistent, upon which staff would be requesting that the board specify which standards are of concern and how the project does not comply. And with that, I can entertain any further questions. The applicant is here and they do have a brief presentation.
Are there any questions specifically on the staff report? Okay.
My only one is, Christian, would you pass the color samples back down now that we're talking about different recommendations? Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on to the applicant presentation then.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Share my screen.
And I do want to note, is we can see the presentations on our iPad. The screen doesn't seem to be working this morning. I don't know if that's an issue for anybody. I'm fine as it is. Oh, there. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Amanda Bridges. I'm a senior architect and project manager at Brereton. We are working in conjunction with Laplace, the design architect, Urban Works, and a few others on this project. We're very excited about it. Hauser Wirth is very excited about it, as they are a well-known art gallery and sort of cultural hub, community hub builder. They have prominent locations in New York and in Los Angeles, and their Los Angeles location has recently been credited with really being the center of the sort of arts district, growing arts district in Los Angeles. And so this will be their first Northern California location, and they're very excited about being in Palo Alto. They do traditionally work with historic buildings, and so they are not new to this process. And they're really excited about, again, being within a large historic building in downtown Palo Alto, being able to be part of the revitalization of downtown, and contributing to that with minimal updates to the existing beautiful historic building just down the street. With that, Stephen already gave a great introduction to the history, so I don't think I need to say too much there. But as you can see here, the building is quite large and really does have this sort of beautiful presence on the corner. Stephen, again, already went through some of this, but we did want to point out that although awnings weren't initially part of the original construction and opening of the building, they have been part of the life of the building for a long time now, as have a number of colors and vibrant colors, and some of the initial engraving on the building will be keeping that as well. So where it says Downing Block in 1909, everything else, almost all elements of this building, especially all historic elements, are being maintained. This is the building as it stands today. You can see that there are green awnings around both the Hamilton and Emerson sides of the building, as well as red paint, highlighting the alcoves and sort of entranceways and entries into the building. We do see this as helpful for wayfinding. Again, it is a large corner building. And so from everything from signaling entries, there are a number of mixed entries, whether public or private. And so we do see the awnings as having a positive sidewalk presence that is consistent with downtown Palo Alto, but also the alcoves color and painting, again, really helping with this wayfinding and highlighting some of the tenants of the building. So as Stephen said, this is the proposed design. We are proposing to eliminate all awnings except for the awnings here where there will be a cafe and bookstore. We really see that as a way of signaling to the public, this is the area that is most open and sort of friendly, and please come in. And so it's meant to be a welcoming color, as well as the highlighted accent color at the alcoves and entries with very subtle or minimum signage for Hauser and Wirth itself. As Stephen said, the only real a change to the existing envelope is a slight increase in height of the door, the entrance on Emerson, and that is necessary for the functionality of the space. Hauser and Wirth, they deal with large scale artwork and pieces of all shapes, colors, and sizes. And in order to be able to really function in this location, they will have to make that one change, or we will have to make that one change. And we do see it still within a truly respectful treatment of the existing history of the building. Here you can see again the awnings and alcoves highlighted in this elevation. The color samples, we did want to note that we are really sticking more with the golden yellow color you see in the fabric, and that the pan, that has been the plan. We have not been able to update the paint sample yet, but that golden yellow that has a slightly richer, darker color is the intention. So if that helps, that's something that we're definitely willing to discuss as we move forward. Here you can see that, again, we're just highlighting that area. This is over here. I think this is on the screen, but maybe it helps if I do that. But here, this is this area you see here. It's that sort of southeast corner at Hamilton where, again, that will be a bookstore and cafe. So we really see limiting the awnings to that area as the way to signal to the public the uses of the space. And we did want to say that we have looked at precedents in the area. A lot of these are very close by. You all are probably even more familiar than we are, but everything from the vibrant colors, the stripes, really the engagement at the sidewalk level with pedestrians, drivers, cyclists, passersby, that this is our intention, is to actually be within the history of this and the current presence of these great small businesses in the neighborhood. And so that is the intention. And we're really excited to be here. House and Worth is really excited to be here. Art News actually published an article about the opening. So we're all really excited about this project, and we are certainly willing to discuss anything that needs to happen to make it work. We just want to be here to answer any questions and to help you better understand our intention with the project moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for the applicant?
I have two questions. One, I'm looking at the paints color scheme
Yes.
on the exterior finished materials page. And I see the yellow that is the awning stripe, an exterior accent color. And then I see like 6 other colors on this paint color scheme. Are the other 6 original to the building, or are there any other colors in this paint color scheme that are being introduced?
The only color that will be introduced on the exterior of the building is the yellow paint for the alcoves you see here, and then the yellow and white awnings. All other colors are primarily interior, potentially to the bookstore and cafe.
Oh, I see. So,
Um,
so these aren't just exterior materials, or sorry, exterior colors. Some of these are interior colors.
I
And-
believe, go ahead.
If I may jump in here. So I think the distinguishing factor here on the exterior finish materials is field. So field color would be either existing conditions. So that field accent color labeled as P4
Mhm.
is the red, or that terracotta,
Yep.
if you will, on the alcoves.
Yeah.
P3 is the new introduced color.
Right.
P2 and P1 are existing conditions on the
Right.
building. And then as for the P5, P6, and P7,
Mhm.
those are for the signage and the awning colors.
I see.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for clarifying that. And then the other question I had was, you mentioned that the doors at the awning entrances are also the P3. Does the frame and the storefront system also get painted the P3, or is it just the door? It looks in the rendering like maybe the storefront frame as well gets painted that same.
Yes, currently that is fine. It is a storefront frame as well as the door and alcove itself.
I
So
see.
you can make a
Okay,
note of that.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Why yellow?
So yellow is consistent with the branding of what's called Ursula Cafe, which is Hauser and Wirth's. They do have the cafe and bookstore is part of their sort of system of their galleries that they bring into all their projects as a way again of engaging with the public. So people can again, of course, come in to view art, buy art, but then the bookstore and the cafe are really seen as other ways to engage with the city and downtown locations they inhabit. And so the yellow is part of the Ursula Cafe branding.
Other questions? No. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Is there any public comment on this item?
Through the chair, I've received no public comment cards, and there's no raised hands on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's discuss. There are comments, you've got comments?
Well, my comment is I have been to the Hauser and Wirth Gallery in Los Angeles, particularly during Freeze. And I've been to a number of different events there, and it is, I think, as was mentioned earlier, like a really vital and active sort of cultural hub. And during events like sort of arts, centered celebrations and things like Freeze, it really does become sort of a cultural center. So I'm glad to see this happening, and I hope that not only does this function as a gallery and bookstore, but it does also have events and community gathering function as well, similar to the one in LA.
Which one of the yellows is the trade dress for the firm? The bigger one. Okay. So that's,
I believe it was the awning color is the branding for that Ursula Cafe.
okay, so it is trade dress.
The kind of richer in hue than the traffic yellow.
So for consistency, which would be picked?
Utilizing the awning color with the small fabric swatch on the material board.
I'm delighted at this project. I think it is a beautiful use of the space. I've seen this building change hands many times, so I'm really happy to see that there is some vibrancy going into it that is open to the community. I like the yellow awnings. I think they're cheery and fun and will really brighten up that beautiful area of Hamilton and I think Emerson or Ramona, that district. And I just personal preference, I know there was an ask about the awning size. I prefer the wider 16-inch as shown in the renderings. But very, very happy about this project.
Oh, I
Weigh in
agree.
with
I
awning
agree with,
preference.
I agree with the 16-inch. I think that scale is preferable.
Yeah, I would also concur, like that wider awning stripe looks nice. And yeah, really excited to see Hauser and Wirth in this space. It's, I think, going to be a really nice addition to downtown. And I guess also to address the question in front of the board, this proposal does look consistent to me with the Secretary of the Interior standards.
I love getting rid of most of those awnings and opening up those transom windows. I think it'll feel really great on the street. I'm concerned about the white and yellow because I don't want you to make our town look dirtier than it actually is. So I hope there's some maintenance plan for keeping. I did go by and those green ones, I know they've been there a while and neglected, but they were pretty dirty. So I'm hoping we have better luck with yellow and white. And I do agree that bold stripe really keeps in scale with the building. Even though I was wondering if the smaller stripes would hide more dirt, but I think the bold stripe is the right way to go. But if I was the client, I would maybe think about introducing another color with the yellow instead of white or something, just because I do think that maintenance-wise, white and yellow is going to be a pretty hard task to keep clean. But lovely project. I hope it will enhance Bell's books instead of distracting from Bell's. I hope it becomes a symbiotic relationship instead of a competitive one. Sort of strange spacing, but it's nice to have another bookstore in town. I think it's a great location. So thank you.
I have just a question about the motion. Would the preference be to include an awning striping with recommendation in the motion, or is what we've done up to this point sufficient?
I think that would be sufficient, the discussion here
great.
today.
Is there other discussion or? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we find the project at 201 Hamilton Avenue to be consistent with the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic rehabilitation.
I second.
Board Member Pease,
I vote yes.
Board Member Willis,
Yes.
Board Member Ulinskis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Roman,
Yes.
Chair Eagleson Chesowich.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. All right, our next item is the chair and vice chair elections.
All right, well, we're finally here. So I know it took a while to get the whole board in full attendance, but let me share my screen. So I just have a brief slide. It's really just copying over the information detailed in the staff report of kind of the procedure of moving this forward. So just to kind of center ourselves is the first meeting that we've had since the full board composition of our new member, Geddes Ulexis, and having a nomination of the chair and vice chair. So it should follow the pretty simple 6-step process. Nominations for chair are made, requiring a second. The nominee either accepts the nomination or declines. A brief statement of why a nomination is either supported could follow. The nominees will also make a brief statement, and following that, other board members may give comments or ask questions. And finally, the board would vote for the nominations. And the process repeats for vice chair.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Is there any public comment on the chair and vice chair elections?
The chair, I've received no public comment cards, and there's no request to speak on Zoom.
Okay, great, thank you. Can we just dive right into it then? All right, I would like to nominate Vice Chair Roman for the chair position.
I second that.
I mean, I would, I guess, you have to, do you want to accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept the nomination.
Great. So Vice Chair Roman has been serving as vice chair for quite a while now, very capably, is clearly aware and knowledgeable about the issues in front of the board, and I think would do an excellent job.
Thank you for that nomination and that statement. I am happy to serve in the chair position should my fellow board members think that that is the best for the board.
Comments or questions?
I support this nomination.
Anything else? Okay, can we vote? Can we voice vote this one, or do we have to vote individually in an election situation?
We can voice vote since everyone's
Yeah.
present.
We are all present. Okay, great. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes unanimously. Welcome, Chair Roman.
Do I have to take over now, or do we wait till the next meeting?
You can take over if you want.
You have
Okay.
been selected. You are now chair.
I need my checklist. No. All right. Nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Carolyn Willis.
I second that.
I nominate board member Eagleson Chaselwitz.
Question, can we have two at the same time, or do you have to take them in order?
Let's see here. So I think we can go with the first motion. And since it was seconded, is there an acceptance of?
I do, actually, I would very much like to be vice chair and sort of shepherd a few of our projects through. I think that I have a different perspective than most people on the board, having been around Palo Alto for a very long time now and served on the HRB previously. So I think it's a good time for me to step up. I know I've chaired previously this board, but I feel like we need to really get a little movement, and I know we have some new staff, and I think it's important to have a little historical perspective, which here I am.
Well, if there are no other comments, we could move on to a vote.
Okay, and it sounds like Caroline accepted and Board Member Eagleson Cheslowitz, do you accept, do we need to do them one at a time or how does this work?
One at a time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can I just make a comment? I can, this is fine with me. Yeah.
okay, then we can vote on Board Member Willis. And we can do that by voice vote. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for the record, that was unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, so Board Member Willis is now our new Vice Chair. Very excited to be partnering with her. Are there any, let's see, updates on comments or announcements for future meetings?
If I may, just stepping in here. So just noting what was mentioned earlier in the meeting of a potential agenda item coming forward to the board before now in the end of the year to wrap up the planning for the awards.
Great, and that is the subcommittee owning the awards is currently. Let me look at my notes. Eagleson Cheslowitz and Zelinskis.
Yeah. And
Wonderful.
my understanding, we left off with this kind of a while ago. My understanding is that we would be looking at that list of properties for suggestions of ones that would be award recipients. And I think we need a kind of reduced list with some of the, like tenant improvement projects and, kind of miscellaneous like roof repairs and things like that removed. Is that consistent with?
That's correct.
And to further on that note, staff would be preparing that and have that available for the board's review.
Great, thanks.
All right, if there are no further comments, oh, sorry, Caroline.
Well, I have one on updating the inventory. So I met with Stephen, started to think about process. And I think we both decided that the first thing is to update our inventory list. Not necessarily the DPR sheets, but just what is on our inventory? What have we added? What have we lost? And Samantha's going to help me with my technical issues. But I think that if there are other things that we want on a master list besides category and district, I think that it would be nice to hear from the board about, what we think should be there. And hopefully at some point, this will, hopefully rather quickly, it will get on the web. And then as we update our DPR sheets, we can link them through to this master index. So fantasy, but I'm really hoping we can make some progress on this pretty quickly.
I would love to add year to that list. I feel like that would be a useful, and that's something I can help with too, Caroline, but I feel like year would really add a lot of context to the inventory that is not currently available with just the addresses. Okay, if there's no further comments, we can move on to the minutes approval from.
There's no minutes.
Oh, there's no minutes. Oh, it's just the vice chair. Okay, well then I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second that.
Thank you.